Hi, my name is Stuart. I'm a copywriter based just outside of London in the UK, and I have been a member of the Circuit Sales System since November of 2022. I'd heard on the grapevine something was coming, and always trusted whatever you put out into the world that it's going to, bring results, and almost doubling my salary in a year by leaving my full-time job. So I was like, yep, if you build it, I will come. So yeah, I jumped in the moment it became available, really just to understand how it all worked and how it all came together, having gone through the circuit for the Comprehensive Copywriting Academy and having seen the videos of what I now know is a light bulb video and the email sequences that triggers. It seemed quite straightforward. I was like, okay, this makes sense. It's a video and it's a few emails. And then I saw behind the curtain and saw, wow, it really is it's a very in-depth marketing system. It initially blew my mind, but having dug into it, it makes sense, and it does. You can see that those persuasion principles that go into it, and it really just takes people along that journey from initial interest through to building that interest, getting the most persuasive sales message you can about what you're offering, and getting people to buy into it on their schedule and not making them wait for a webinar in 3 weeks' time, or one that's conveniently starting in just 5 minutes. Could you believe it? It's the more natural way of selling, and it really appealed to me. So yeah, I jumped straight in as soon as I could. Initially, having to go through the course and really understand it and get to grips with the terminology and the theory behind it, and how one thing triggers another and why certain things are the way they are. It's, there's a lot of theory behind it, and it does make a lot of sense. So really, I wanted to understand it from my own perspective. And obviously, as a writer, there are steps we go through to grasp that. But I was unprepared for a level of detail I had to understand to really get it. So there's a lot to get through, but once it clicks, you can totally see how it all comes together. But for me, what interested me was the range of potential projects that it could open up. Not just, because most of the time our emails are pretty much my bread and butter these days, but the circuit sales system opens up video scripts, emails, landing pages, sales pages, social media ads, the whole range of copywriting perspective, short of direct mail pieces, but I'm sure there's a way to build that in. There must be. It covers everything. So it really is it's a full production line of potential copy projects. So it felt like the perfect fit for me, especially as it's a group of business owners who are invested. They understand the value of copy. They are almost pre-qualified as ideal clients, and having them reach out to me without me having to pitch them, because we don't go in there and pitch people. They are there to learn and not to be sold to. So to have that open up not quite a floodgate, but a good strong flow of clients coming and asking for help has been a very nice change of pace from what I'm used to, having to pitch a lot of clients. It feels nice that it's coming in organically almost. So I started the course in November, and my first client, I felt, understood it a lot better than I did. I was like, oh, okay, I need to go back and watch these all over again and really get to grips with how it all plays together, because it's not simple. It isn't one email sequence. There's a lot of moving parts, but the more client work I've done and the more people I've talked to about the system, the more it just makes sense. So I handled a number of different clients with a number of different ways. So I've written emails for people, I've written scripts for people. There's one business owner where we literally get on 2 calls a week, and I coach her through producing it. Different budgets, different needs, different abilities. So we've pretty much, I walked her through creating that video, but she's been going through it in her own time and really understanding it, from getting into a lot of detail. So she'll say things like, "Ooh, is that right? I better go and check that." But it's become almost a learning together process where we bounce off each other, and I throw in ideas, she comes up with ideas, and it's almost been a co-creation. So I'm really looking forward. She's about finished the script. Our final coaching call is on Thursday of this week. I'm really excited to see it go live. It's like watching your child go off to school for the first day almost. So it's a great little process we've come up with. For the Facebook group, primarily it's been seeing how people have approached the different businesses that are members, the range of different businesses and different audiences, and the vast range of price points that people are selling their courses at. Seeing that interaction between each other, seeing them give each other feedback, exploring all of these different wonderful courses I'd never come across as well. Seeing your feedback really helped me to understand it even further, and which is why I've made every effort to go on as many coaching calls as I can free up my schedule to attend, because just lurking on those calls and hearing you give feedback is like, okay, I get that. I'm going to steal that idea because I know that someone I'm working with really needs to hear that feedback. I'm going to go and give credit, clearly. But as I hear you talk more and I understand it more and more, I can then give that feedback in the group when to help out and share ideas, as well as, I've also applied it in other projects unrelated to CSS for video scripts, which I'd never worked on before, but now I'm more than confident. It's an interesting change of focus, where knowing what you're writing is going to be spoken rather than read has completely changed my tone, my approach, the vocabulary I use. I really like the idea of sort of side comments, and how do you put comments in parentheses, how you really get that across through a tone of voice shift. And it's been eye-opening. It really has. It's been a very exciting explosion of knowledge that I've gone through with this. I think people need to realize that this isn't a quick fix. It's not write a couple of emails, that's it, done. It is a full marketing system that they need to be putting together. It will take time. It will, but it's an investment of time which will repay over and over and over, because once you've done it and you've turned that on, other than refining things and other than maybe testing some other subject lines or testing different copy in the emails or testing different ideas on the landing page, that's just refining something which should be working very well. Mm-hmm. And I've coached a lot of clients, CSS clients, through that. Or there's a bit of reluctance where it's almost, oh, do I trust it? Will this really do what I hope it will? And yeah, it really should, because if you've got a product that sells, why would it not sell even more on autopilot when you don't have to show up live all the time and have that launch stress? And one of the clients I work with has told me some horror stories about clients of hers who have their business as launch model, and the amount of risk that people are putting on with their business, their entire finances, it's like putting everything on black. And whilst this, in my view, is putting everything on everything, you can't, there's no losing result, because you can just make it continually improve it. Yeah. So obviously no guaranteed income, no guarantee of success, but you've got a good product and you've invested the time to write a decent script and your emails are compelling and sell the benefits of your course, it should just work. And then it's all about making it work better. So it's as risk-free as you can get without it being risk-free, in my view. So from a copy perspective, I would encourage people to look at it as a range of different job opportunities, because it's not just I will write this for you. For the vast majority of clients I've worked with, it's been more of a co-creation, where because they know their business inside out, they've probably written copy for their business for a long time, so they know what messages land, what messages work well. You are there really just to help them, again, refine what they do, sell and land a message more compelling, maybe dig a bit more into some benefits that they hadn't quite thought about, or stronger stories, examples, stronger metaphors, different ways people can relate to it. So it's more about teasing out what you know should help sell it better, versus thank you, I'll take my creative brief and I'll go off and write something and give it back to you. It's more of a creation where you combine talents to produce something, and be prepared, you will get very invested in their success. And it's nice to see it go off into the world and earn money for them. It's a wonderful feeling.